in a room full of laughter, flashing lights, and people pretending everything was perfect. I stood next to my wife, smiling for a photo that would probably get hundreds of likes. From the outside, we looked like the perfect couple. The kind people envy. The kind people wish they had. But then she leaned toward me. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just enough for a few people to hear, and for me to never forget. Step out of the picture, you're ruining the aesthetic. For a second, I thought she was joking. I even forced a small smile, waiting for her to laugh. She didn't. And neither did the people around us. That's when I realized something. This wasn't just a sentence. It was the truth, finally spoken out loud. So I stepped out of the frame. But this time I didn't stop walking. There's a strange kind of silence that only exists in crowded rooms. A silence where everyone is talking, laughing, living. But you feel completely invisible. That was my life with Elena. If you saw us online, you'd think we had everything. Perfect home. Perfect events. Perfect smiles. But what people don't see in pictures is what happens right before and right after them. And that's where our story really lived. Elena didn't just like perfection. She needed it. Everything had to be curated, every detail controlled, every moment filtered. Even people. Especially people. I wasn't always an outsider in her world. In the beginning, things were different. She laughed more. She cared more. She saw me. Or at least I thought she did. Over time, things changed. Slowly, quietly. Not in ways that start fights, but in ways that slowly erase you. It started with small comments. You should dress better. Why don't you try to look a little more presentable? People notice these things. At first, I didn't mind. I thought she was helping me fit in. But then the comments turned into comparisons. Look at him, he knows how to carry himself. Why can't you be more confident like that? You just don't match my energy sometimes. And eventually, they stopped sounding like suggestions and started sounding like truths. Somewhere along the way, I stopped being her partner and became her project. Something to fix. Something to improve. Something that wasn't quite enough. And the worst part, I let it happen. Because I loved her. The night of her birthday, everything looked perfect. But something felt off. Maybe it was the way she barely spoke to me. Or the way I was moving around like staff instead of a husband. Or maybe, deep down, I already knew what was coming. When everyone gathered for the group photo, I hesitated. Something inside me said, stay back. But another voice said, just go, maybe this time will be different. So I walked over. Stood next to her. Smiled. And then she said it. Step out of the picture, you're ruining the aesthetic. It wasn't loud. But it was loud enough. And just like that, everything made sense. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel shocked. I just felt clear. Clear about who I was to her. Clear about where I stood. Clear about what I had been ignoring for far too long. I stepped back. Then another step. No one stopped me. Because to them, it wasn't a big deal. But to me, it was everything. I walked out of that house like I had walked into it years ago. Quietly. But this time I wasn't coming back the same. The drive that night changed something in me. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. But permanently. For the first time, I wasn't trying to fix anything. I wasn't trying to understand her. I wasn't trying to make excuses. I was just thinking about myself. And that felt unfamiliar. But right. I realized something that scared me more than anything. I didn't remember the last time I felt respected. Not loved. Not needed. Respected. And once you notice that, you can't unsee it. The message at 2 a.m. didn't change anything. She's still crying. For years, I had been the one silently hurting. But no one texted her about that. The next day, when I walked back into the house, it didn't feel like home. It felt like a place I used to belong. She looked at me like I had done something wrong. Like leaving was the problem. Not what made me leave. That's when I understood something even deeper. She wasn't upset because she hurt me. She was upset because I didn't stay. And that changed everything. Our conversation wasn't loud. There were no accusations. No dramatic breakdowns. Just truth. I was joking, she said. But jokes don't make people question their worth. I didn't mean it like that. But meaning doesn't change impact. I didn't think you'd take it seriously. And that was the problem. She never thought I would. Because I never had before. But this time, I did. Packing my bag wasn't emotional. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't angry. It was calm. The kind of calm that comes when a decision has already been made. I'm not leaving you, I told her. I'm leaving the version of myself that stayed too long. She cried. And for the first time, I didn't try to stop it. Because some pain isn't meant to be fixed. It's meant to be felt. And maybe understood. When I walked out that door, it didn't feel like loss. It felt like release. Not from her, but from the version of me that kept shrinking to fit into someone else's idea of perfect. And as I drove away again, I realized something powerful. She didn't end the relationship with that sentence. She just revealed that it had already been over. Final lines. Sometimes people don't break your heart in one moment. They slowly teach you that you don't belong. Until one day you finally believe them. And choose to walk away.